for us as women too. You know, we've never done all these things before.
My sister never changed a nappy until, you know, I had to show, I never even had a baby, and I had to show her how to change a nappy. She's like, you know. And so, but I think what we don't get totally is that when a baby has colic, it's real inconvenient for us because we don't get to sleep and the baby's crying all the time, but that baby's really uncomfortable. You know, the baby only cries for a few reasons, and that is their discomfort, they're hungry, or they're tired. There's not much else that they cry for. And when you're not used to that, it can be really grating on your nerves. You know, not the fantasy of what you thought it would be. And it's the two of you just trying to understand a rhythm together. Yeah. And we're in those 40 weeks at home, 40 days at home, you get to really learn that. And Laura from Big Chino, it was her third baby, and she came to class, and I said, is it your last? She's like, yeah, this is the last one. I said, why don't you try and experiment? You know, I said, I know it's really hard when you've got 2 kids, and you might still have to do the few things that you have to do. You know, you have to go to walk the one little kid to school, so that, you know, little things, but just not this like going outward into the world and not having loads of people come over and see the baby and hold the baby and touch. Like, that's your sacred time. And she said it was the fastest her body had ever healed in any of the pregnancies. And that's the baby, where usually it takes longer. But she really treasured that time. And everyone that has done it has really treasured that time. And I just think now is such an interesting time where I'm really talking about it openly in a way that maybe I didn't so much before, because I was rushing around, or I felt like, well, I can't tell a woman to do, that's not realistic, you know, like she's got to like go and get shit done. But now it's kind of being imposed on all of us. And I'm seeing just in myself there's like a gentleness that's coming over me from being at home a lot, you know, not rushing around, and really being in the radius of the mile of my house is the extent of my life for the last 6 weeks, you know. And I feel like there's more energy in my body, and I feel like there's a healing that's happening. And so it's just making, you know, I never had to do it personally because I didn't have a baby, but now it's really making a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I never did it with my 5 babies, but so many women here in Byron do it. And when I first heard, I was like, oh, that's not for me. I'm a get out of the house kind of person. I like being out of my house. I don't like sitting in a house watching it get dirty and messy. I like, you know, and I was thinking, oh, you know, you have to listen to what you naturally feel like doing. Yeah. But I have to say, since starting this course and all the research I've done and all the women, all these books I've read and all these wise people who speak for the importance of it, I completely just wish I had done that with my...
Every culture kind of does it. The mother is looked after, and she looks after her baby. And, you know, we're kind of getting mothers to go straight back to work as soon as they can. And it doesn't make sense, you know. But, you know, again, I think that everything that you did was what you needed to do in that moment to get you to where you are now, because that would be really annoying if you did this course and you were like, yeah, I stayed home for 40 days with all 5 of my babies and it was amazing. People might be like, lucky you. But you're actually coming from the place like, yeah, I didn't do it and I wish I could have done it, you know. And now that I'm reading and doing all this stuff, like, wow, what a gift. If I could do something differently, this is what I do differently, and I'm sharing that, you know. And so I just think that everyone does what they can with what they know in the moment. But now it's making real big sense to me. In every class I teach, I'm like, this is a good idea and you're being forced to do it, so just pay attention to it. Like, if you're going to be given like the sucky part of not being able to have your partner at birth and, you know, all those things, this is the good. that can come out.
You're being forced. Yeah. And you're not missing out on anything because everyone else is home doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, if we're going to look for the good in the day, that's your good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I have a good friend who just had twins, and she's obviously home now and being forced to stay home. But I said to her, well, I mean, it's so much better because we're not surfing without you. We're not at the beach without you. We're all home. So you're missing nothing, you know.
There's no FOMO right now. It's
exactly. Which is so wonderful. I mean, I think it's a lesson for all of us pregnant, but new baby, or irregardless of any of that, just to look at this time and know that we will look back on it with such a fondness. I think that we were forced to slow down and tune in with our bodies and our mental state. And
I mean, some people are at home trying to work full-time jobs, so I'm trying to hold that space too. Like, I'm in a very privileged position of being financially not, but I have a safe home. I have everything I need, and I don't have to, have a full-time job. But I ran into someone the other day from my class, and she's a lawyer and her husband's a lawyer, and they've got a 2-year-old. And they're in a 1-bedroom apartment, and they're taking shifts to work and take care of, trying to entertain the kid, and she's losing it.
Oh, I have a million moments of the day where I'm losing it too. I'm not trying to.
Yes, I just think it's interesting because there are so many variables of this scenario of, people losing it, people feeling, oh, this is nice to slow down. But certainly for a pregnant woman, here especially, they're being asked to stay home for 12 weeks towards the end of their pregnancy, and however long this goes on. And what they don't realize is they're being given a gift. For a friend of mine that just had a baby, she's a hairdresser. She's on her feet all the time. And she would have had to work till 36 weeks. And she got to finish at 30 weeks. And she's like, it's amazing. I'm at home doing yoga every day. I'm eating really well.
Okay, so before we go, let's just share, and I will also share this in the notes, like I said, but you are teaching your pregnancy yoga class still through Try Yoga. All the information is on your Instagram.
If you go to my Instagram and at Nadia Narain, tap on my profile, it will take you straight to the page of my classes, and there'll be links. And I just started teaching again 2 weeks ago because it just took me a minute. So I will maybe add another class. So that's the best place to go to see what's convenient. And then
that's kind of exciting because anyone in the world can take that class, right? So it's not even just people in London.
Australians, unless the Australians do it at like 9 or 10 at night, that kind of works.
Yeah.
What's 9 o'clock in the morning Australian time?
I don't know. I think it would.
It would just be a late night class, but that's okay. It doesn't sleep.
Yeah. Well, I think, but it's accessible to really, to anyone.
Yeah, and I have the DVD.
That's right,
you
can
download. I don't know whether it's on Vimeo. The link is all on my website, that there's a downloadable, and that's just 3 20-minute sections. So you can either do them all or do one, and just keep some kind of ritual every day of doing something where you're connecting to your body, you're connecting to your baby, and you're connecting to your breath. And then the more you practice that, the more access you have to it when you need it. You're not going to be able to get there in a heightened state if you haven't been practicing it.
Yeah. Such good advice. And also, I should just say that I love following you on Instagram and all your wisdom and daily posts, and sometimes they ramble in the most beautiful ways of and you just share your heart, and it's so beautiful. And so people should definitely follow you there, not just for your classes, but for your daily inspiration and wisdom.
Can we just finish with this one little prayer if anybody's in pregnancy right now?
Yeah.
So just sitting with the eyes closed, and rest your right hand on your baby and your left hand on your heart center. Divine Mother, Mother within, may you illuminate my journey, Bring me strength, courage, and wisdom as I follow all the mothers before me. May I surrender to the power of birth, and may it fill me with the knowing that with each surge, I journey closer to welcoming my beloved baby. Help me to open fully and birth my baby gently. As my baby is born, I too am born as a mother, and we are born as a family. In love and gratitude, blessed be.
Thank you, Nadia.
You're welcome. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
I miss you. I feel like we can do this. Can we do this more often, even if it's not an interview?
Yes, please.
Okay.